Oh hey, didn't see you there. I just wanted to announce that I'm allowing admissions to my Grimgar Fantasy and Ash fan club. Just text the number right here if you want to enter. Did I say Grimgar? I meant Kirby right back at ya. So many shows release every year, so there isn't always enough room for all of them to get attention. A community can only rave about so many shows, and My Hero Academia is out 50% of the year, so it isn't uncommon at all for shows to fall either in between the cracks or to be judged based on their opening episodes. There are many reasons a show can end up being underrated. Either it didn't garner enough attention even though it was a fantastic show, it got forgotten in its season because it either ended or never got a season 2, or maybe it just left a bad first impression, and second impression, and third impression, and still it's just randomly doing poorly. Okay, but what do I mean by underrated? I mean shows that both not enough people watched, or the common opinion on the show is just negative. You know, honestly, the yelling isn't too bad once you get used to it. Black Clover is probably the biggest modern show I can think that follows the rule. Come on, just keep watching it, you'll start liking it. Wait, so it gets better? No, not really. It's no secret that I'm a pretty big fan of Black Clover, much to the dismay of my GPA, and I'm not gonna outright say it's a fantastic show. I mean, poor animation's one of the worst things that can happen to an adaptation in my opinion, but don't let that take away from what's genuinely a good experience. Black Clover is the junk food of shonen anime, and it thrives of that. There is never a dull moment, and there are no breaks between big arcs. It's just sheer hype incarnate and fantastic high-stake fights that get bigger and bigger each time. The cast is also incredibly likable. The characters may be made up of every trope on the planet, but they still feel unique because of their backstory or the way they interact with each other. Even Asta has his own charm if you let him grow on you. He is without exception shonen protag.exe with his whole never given up thing. But I love it. Even if you don't like Asta for all his, there are still a lot of characters to enjoy that explore different character archetypes that have their own unique power sets and have their own unique values. I gotta start with the agreed positive. The music. Guilty Crown's a show I had no idea was seen as well as it was until I started looking it up. It of course isn't the most original show, of the plot being, wow, different countries have power over Japan, we should stop that, hey high schooler, help us out. But there's something special about this show, and I'm not talking about the fever dream that is the second half, or the incredible animation. See, if there's one thing I love in any fictional medium, it's human characters. Not just characters that complain or are always afraid, I mean characters that are just so human. And Shu Oma, for me, is the apex of human characters. He is undeniably flawed. He can get hurt, he can get angry, he can get broken. In terms of sheer character writing, I suggest Guilty Crown if you want to keep that in mind. No way, officer, I have no idea how that got on there. Has there ever been a series? No. A dead horse, beaten quite like Sword Art Online. I've said it once before and I'll say it again. Sword Art blew up so big it pretty much caused the isekai genre as we know it, or at least the popularity of it. Now, am I saying SAO is fantastic? No. Am I saying there's hidden value only the most analytical can find? Absolutely not. But where this makes it into the video is Sword Art Online really that bad? Is it the worst show you've ever watched? Yeah, it's generically written and uncomfortable at times. Yeah, it's generic harem bait with a generic character, but is it so bad it deserves to be hated as much as it is? Or do you think people just hated how popular it was when it came out? If you tell me you hate Sword Art, you have every right to. It is a deeply flawed show, but if you tell me it's the worst show ever, there are so many shows that are, if not worse, are exactly the same as Sword Art Online. Now, did Sword Art Online deserve how much fame it got? Also no. Should people say it's their favorite anime of all time? I'm already contacting the FBI for that wrong opinion, but it's an average show, a meh show, that's underrated just because of the amount of sheer hate it gets. It's very underrated and is a fresh twist on the isekai genre. Words can't describe how much I believe Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash is underrated. Numbers can, though. 7.77. Grimgar is a show I always adored, and I would say it's honestly my ideal fantasy anime. I find something special in such a grounded story. No incredible grand magic, no tripping and falling into a situation where you have to save the world, just learning skills from zero and trying to survive. When the worst part I can think of about a show is, yeah, there's no season 2, I think it's probably underrated. The combat is good, the characters are entertaining, the world looks great and unique, the backdrops have this neat painting-like feel. Just please watch Grimcar. I will give you $1 if you do it. They're back. Sword Art Online and Fairy Tail go hand in hand in the genre. They aren't good, but come on, they're not that bad. It's generic shonen trash that for whatever reason refuses to kill off a character but sure as hell likes acting like they're going to. But does that make it bad enough to just toss into trash? Huh, did you say something? Fairy Tail is such a nothing show, in the best way and the worst way. Is it gonna change your life? Nah. Is it gonna take genuine effort to watch it? No. It's just a shallow good time. Now, I think it lost its appeal when it tried going for darker arcs, but wouldn't follow the consequences, but Fairy Tail as a package isn't 100% terrible. I'd say 50. It's also one of the shows I'm most ashamed to admit that I got really into around high school. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Yeah, I finally decided to change my entire perspective on the whole underrated thing, because if you're rated out of 10, the lower you are, the closer you are to number 1.